Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Yuki and John's podcast buffet. Or good morning, or good afternoon, or good middle of the night, whatever the heck is going on, whatever you are, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're watching some Star Wars stuff because it's May the 4th. And as they say, May the 4th be with you. I know it's ridiculous, but whatever. You know what? I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff. This is John Brennan, by the way. We usually release all the buffet stuff on Mondays. Podcast buffet comes out on Monday. And this year, it's May 4th on a Monday. And we don't have any new content for Star Wars, but Yuki and I have spoken about Star Wars in the past. All the way back in episode 37, we talked about Star Wars. So I'm going to put that out again as an encore episode. We're both so passionate about Star Wars, Yuki and I, that we have... in the middle of other subjects, we'll be talking about laundry or something, all of a sudden start talking about Star Wars. This is my thing. Why didn't they follow the thread in the Star Wars sequel trilogy where, okay, so they set up in part 3, in Revenge of the Sith, episode 3, George Lucas set up that Plagueis knew how to create life from the midichlorians and make a being through the Force, right? They sort of set that up, implying that Anakin Skywalker was the creation of the Force. Whether or not it was Plagueis or the Emperor himself, that was sort of done. And I'm here, look, I'm only talking about the movies here. I don't know a lot about the comics. They might have addressed this in the comics, etc. But they had a perfect setup for the sequel trilogy that Rey was the same kind of being or human that was created from the midichlorians in the Force, and that the Emperor was the one that created her, instead of just being a granddaughter. Like, okay, look, my biggest problem with that reveal, who is Emperor Palpatine fucking, right? He ain't fucking nobody, and if he is fucking somebody, it ain't consensual. Let's just put it that way. So it makes Star Wars gross. But they could have just set up that Rey was a creation of the midichlorians and the manipulation of the Sith and the Emperor who created some Rey out of this process that was taught to him by Plagueis. And in that regard, then, she would have been related to Anakin Skywalker because he was created by the same process. Therefore, instead of, oh, you're the granddaughter of the Emperor, no. Emperor Palpatine created you using the Force. And, just like he created Anakin Skywalker. That's what Adam Driver could have said. And it could have been a whole thing. That would have been more mind-blowing, or at least more interesting than Palpatine fucking. Anyway, happy May the 4th, everybody. That's my problem with the sequel trilogy in Star Wars. So here we go. We're going to do an encore episode, Star Wars. Everybody enjoy. I'm kind of looking forward to Mandalorian and Grogu, even though it's not a good title. Who cares? I'm looking forward. I'm going to go to the theater with my mother and Liz Shack, and we're going to see it. I know it's tracking bad. They say it's only going to make like $60 million, and that's insane for a Star Wars movie because, I don't know, I think The Force Awakens, they said, made like $190 million its opening weekend or something crazy like that. I don't know. Star Wars fell off, but I'm still a fan. I still go. I still hate Obi-Wan show. I hated it. I thought that was the worst goddamn thing you could have done to that character, because I'm sure I talk about it in this episode, but I'll just rant about it again. Obi-Wan allowed Darth Vader to go and have 9-10 more years of destroying the galaxy, all because, oh, I'm crying, my friend. Oh, that's the stupidest thing. A real Jedi would have said, I need to end this evil. I'm going to chop Darth Vader's freaking head off. And he would have ended it right there. Instead of walking after throwing rocks at him and shit or whatever the hell happened, he just walks away. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's up there with Ellen Bernstein saying that it's the damn patriarchy that kept her out of the room during the original Exorcist and the Exorcist Believer. I don't understand why they have to ruin it. Okay, anyway, I'm done with the rant. Here we go. This is Yuki and John talking about Star Wars on May the 4th be with you. And we'll see you next week with a new episode on Yuki and John's podcast buffet via Yuki and John's Patreon buffet. All right, see you later, baby. Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.
Did you recognize that song?
Yes, the Darth Vader song.
The Imperial March.
Imperial March.
Yeah, Yuki, you're good. Name that tune.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yes.
That's
the main song, right?
by Randy Newman. He does all those movie scores, remember? Toy Story, Star Wars.
Oh.
No,
John Williams. What are you talking about?
It's those are definitely by John Williams, and today we're here to speak about Star Wars. So now the reason we're doing this is because on multiple podcasts that we've been recording, all of a sudden we bust into Star Wars talk out of nowhere, and we both are very passionate about our Star Wars.
Yes.
Right? You're passionate.
Yeah, well, Star Wars generation, I still remember 1977. August 16, the day Elvis died, I was on the way to the Chinese theater to see Star Wars.
Holy shit, so you remember the exact day because it was Elvis's death day.
And then when I heard in the radio, I was making a left turn from Wilshire Boulevard to Fairfax.
Whoa.
Exactly remember on my way to Chinese theater.
You remember where you were when Elvis died.
Yep.
And you remember where you were at 9/11.
9/11. I was in California, Days Inn, Thousand Oaks. 8:30. I was eating breakfast, coffee, and then cinnamon rolls.
And those are the two most important days in American history in the last 100 years, right? Holy shit, Yuki. So, well, no, actually, that it skips over World War II. Anyway, this is Star Wars. Let's not get into any political or any sidetracks, because that's what happened. That's why we're talking about this, because other podcasts, we sidetrack into a 10, 15-minute Star Wars conversation, and then we suddenly said, hey, wait a second, we haven't done an episode on Star Wars.
Right. We have to. Yeah.
We have to do a full episode. Okay, so let's get into the origins of Star Wars, why we love it, and then we'll get into sort of a summary of the love-hate relationship with pre-Disney, post-Disney, all the shit. So you just said your origin with Star Wars was August 16th, 1977, going to the Grauman's Chinese Theater. Was there still lines out around the block?
Yes, the movie opened May 25th.
Yes.
3 months later, still huge line.
Holy shit. So that whole summer was the summer of Star Wars.
Right. I think movie theater is not like that anymore, because, used to be one movie stays forever when movie is hit. Now, these days, movie come out 2 days, make tons of money, then second week, you can see it on streaming. That's right. Bullshit.
Yeah, there's no longevity.
Yeah, and then we don't see the big screen anymore. What is this 14 theater, like a big TV screen?
Yeah.
When I grew up in the big movie screen, like, where's the Cinerama Dome? There's no more Cinerama Dome.
It was an event.
Yeah.
People, it was an event. You went, you waited in line, you made friends, you went, you
exactly.
cheered. Yeah.
We made a line, Chinese theater. Yeah. I did that, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars. I was on the line and then Chinese theater every weekend. But they don't do that anymore. It's bullshit.
Oh. So that first theatrical experience, you loved it, right?
Right.
It was amazing. How was the crowd? Were they cheering?
Oh, yeah, cheering, especially last, that the fight scene,
Death Star,
this. Oh, my God.
That's so cool. I was still a twinkle in my mom's vagina. But I supposedly went to Empire Strikes Back as a little kid, maybe. I don't know. They said that, but it doesn't make sense because that would have been one.
Empire Strikes, that's 1980.
80 was Empire. And then
guess what?
83 was Jedi.
Return of Jedi.
Yeah.
1980, I saw Empire Strikes Back in Cinerama Dome in the Waikiki Beach.
You're kidding. So with that, was it the same thing? A line around the block and everything for?
Yes,
Really?
and I was in Hawaii, and then, yeah.
What? So did you love Empire the same way you love Star Wars, or did you like that less? Or
I didn't mind just the Star Wars, and then I knew there was a trilogy, but first of all, the episode 4, George Lucas directed, and then Empire Strikes Back, Irving Kershner.
Yeah.
And then Return of Jedi, Richard Marquand.
Right.
So 3 different directors, and then, but yeah, I thought still,
You liked the first one the best.
First one, that was the best.
Interesting. I love Empire Strikes Back. I think I love them all. All 3, the first 3, amazing.
Well, personally, he wanted to, 9 episodes, but I didn't mind just one movie.
Right. You didn't need the whole...
Right, because the episode 4 could be just...
self-contained.
That's it. Ending was, perfect ending,
Yeah.
Then, those ceremony, they get the medal and then... Yeah, that was a good ending, and then I didn't have to see episode 5 and 6.
Right. But you did get episode 5 and 6. Now, did you know going into it that Darth Vader was Han Solo's father?
Darth Vader was Han Solo's father?
I mean, yeah. Did you know that Darth Vader was Lando Calrissian's father?
What?
Did you know that Darth Vader was C-3PO's father, which is actually true in the Phantom Menace? They show that Darth Vader built C-3PO, which is so fucking stupid.
Young Anakin,
We'll get to the fucking prequels later, but no, did you know that Darth Vader was going to be Luke's father?
No, until I saw.
Until you saw it in the movie,
right?
And then were you like, oh shit?
Shit, yeah. I am your father.
Oh, that's the best James Earl Jones I've ever heard.
No.
Except for himself.
Yeah.
You should do that voice for the new Obi-Wan show if they ever do it again. So did the whole audience go?
Yeah.
Oh, did people get mad?
I don't think so.
Nobody was like, no. Oh, they all just a collective sigh.
Yeah.
Oh, so nobody leaked. See, that's what I liked back then. The spoilers weren't as easy to get, and people weren't all over the fucking, whatever. The
right.
internet.
Well, because there wasn't,
There was no
internet was as big as this. So it's the beginning of before the internet time. So.
Oh, and did you believe it?
Yeah.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people I remember saying, "Oh, you're just lying," and then they confirmed it in the next one. He actually was his father. But some people left the theater going, "Nah, Darth Vader's lying. He's not his father. That's bullshit."
No, I believed it though. I mean, the big as a storyline, it's just oh my god.
It's a great twist.
Great twist. Then you think about it. Is he really father or not?
Yeah.
Then you want to see the next.
That makes you want to see the next one.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Empire is great, and then Return of the Jedi. I vividly remember going to see in the theater twice as a kid.
What's annoying me is I really didn't like the Ewok thing. I said there was
the Ewoks are fine,
but that's too childrish. It's like so kid.
I do wish it was supposed to be a bunch of Chewbacca's running around.
Yeah, Chewbacca is more unbelievable, but the Chewbacca. That tribe didn't come out until Clone Wars, right?
Right, the prequels, they had the Chewbacca's running around.
Right.
But I like the Chewbacca's. The original idea was that instead of Ewoks, it was them, and they were running around fighting the Empire and all that shit. And then George Lucas said, no, wouldn't it be more interesting if it was a bunch of small Ewoks that took away...
But I don't know, the Ewok is just too kid. I didn't mind watching Ewok movie.
That was okay, yeah.
Right, because
that's the
Ewok.
two TV movies,
right,
Caravan of Courage and the other one.
But I mean, the third Star Wars movie, when they're fighting and then try to, get the shield, I don't know, just, bunch of small hairy things walking and then it's like I don't know. It's a stuffed animal running around, and then when they do this thing, like, I didn't buy that. No, I don't know.
Wait, Liz, what do you got to say?
Yuki, have you ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special?
Yeah, but
Did you like it?
no, really. I mean,
That's technically when we see the Wookiee tribe, right?
yeah. So
Life Day. They were celebrating Life Day.
right,
And there's no dialogue for like so long. It's just the Wookiees. They go,
yeah. So no, I'm not crazy about
Wookiee backwards is kind of Ewok. And that's why.
Ewok,
He did it backwards. Wookiee, Ewok.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but the Ewok thing is, I'm not really crazy about that.
I liked it. Come on, Yub Nub, Shabbat the do. They sing good and they fly.
And then the episode 8, when the Chewbacca, the little bird thing.
Oh, Porgies? Something like that.
I didn't like that either.
Well, okay, we'll get to the sequel trailer. So the first 3 you could have done with just Star Wars, no sequels.
Right, I didn't mind at all, just one movie.
But then you liked Empire enough.
Right, and then
It's a good movie.
Good movie. Then I have to see. Oh my god! Now I have to see the next one because I want to know what happened to Anakin.
And then you didn't like the Ewoks, but did you like the rest of the stuff from Return of the Jedi?
Right,
Jabba, all that shit was awesome.
Right.
Yeah. And then the fucking stuff in the throne room with the Emperor is some of the best stuff Star Wars ever did.
Right.
Where he's tempting Luke with the dark side and telling him to kill him, and the Emperor's like, I just said you're beating, he's like doing his thing. And then fucking Landa. I do think it was sort of a cop-out that it was, oh, it's a second Death Star. Oh boy.
But that Emperor thing, I like more than the Palpatine thing or
Palpatine?
Yeah, it's a bullshit. But the Emperor was really good.
The Emperor was cool when you didn't know what the fuck or why the fuck he was what he was. He was just pure evil, running the galaxy, doing his thing.
Right.
When they started to,
and then previous scene, he was one of the the
what in the prequels?
No, in the same movie earlier when we don't see his.
Oh yeah, you don't see his face. He's just a cloaked.
Right, because he was one of the Padme's people, right? The government people.
Yeah. Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so
all that stuff, yeah, I loved. So yeah, Return of the Jedi. I saw that as a little kid. I must have been 4 or 5, and I remember seeing it twice and loved it. But I had already known Star Wars and Empire by heart because I had them on taped on VHS.
Right.
Loved those movies. Those movies shaped my childhood in such an amazing way. I had all of the toys. No, I mean, maybe not all, but most of the toys. I had a Millennium Falcon, the big one that you can fly and
Do
shit.
you still have it?
It's in my attic. It's still a little busted up, but it's
those could be, makes you rich. Probably.
Yes, I have enough Star Wars toys that if I sold them, I'd have a pretty penny.
Oh.
So I'm going to wait until the day that I need to get divorced.
Okay.
And I'm going to buy a house or something. Who knows? It might help. But yeah, I still have all that stuff. I really relate to the whole story, the hero's journey. Joseph Campbell, he's responsible sort of for inspiring George Lucas with the hero's journey. And George Lucas took that Joseph Campbell teaching and put that into his space opera. On top of that, a big debt is owed to Kurosawa with the Hidden Fortress.
Right.
That's the story is pretty much the story of Star Wars.
Those two farmers,
C-3PO and R2-D2, yeah. And then on top of that, the Flash Gordon serials.
Right.
So there was a lot of stuff that Lucas took, which is interesting. He cherry-picked all these beautiful things from all these other things and then made something wholly other that changed the world.
Right.
The world has never been the same since Star Wars.
Right.
And in a way, some people credit it with...
In the special effect.
And special effects, God, yeah. There was nothing... I mean, maybe 2001 before that was almost better, but this was just pop culture phenomenon, changed the world, and people blame it and Jaws for ruining Hollywood because all of a sudden it became all they wanted was blockbusters in Hollywood, and they didn't want these like sort of adult drama movies.
But that wasn't like a 1970s, those blockbuster movie became Hollywood tradition, no?
Yeah, nowadays all you get is Star Wars essentially in the theater. Marvel movies are just Star Wars.
I'm not buying a Marvel as a movie. That's like a comic book extension because they make a movie for comic reader. Not the entire public. It's not fair to as just a movie lover, because I have to read the comic book.
Movies.
Yeah, 27 other movies and then read 100 comic books to understand this one movie. I'm not buying it.
And that's sort of where Star Wars started to go a little awry.
Right.
Is because it got so complicated and convoluted. Now, it didn't really start to get that bad because the prequels, there were some comics, there were some books, but there wasn't a flood of media the way there is today where you have to watch the cartoon series to understand what's going on in the live action series.
Right, that's a bullshit. I mean, until 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, okay. Those 6 are okay before
because
Disney.
It all fits together. Even though some of it's stupid,
right?
It fits together in one cohesive story.
Right, it's just one big Star Wars world.
Right.
Just to make sense.
Right, and you didn't necessarily need to read the comics or the books in order to get a piece of information that you needed to know what was going on in the movies. So Lucas kept it pretty smart.
Right.
He said the movies are the main thing, and then all the other stuff is the offshoot. And you don't have to follow that if you don't want to.
Right, because first 4, 5, 6, the middle 3 section at Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and then Princess Leia. And then first 1, 2, 3 is about father time.
Yep.
Before this. And then last 3 supposed to be next generation, but Disney whole fucked it up.
We'll get to the sequels.
Okay.
So the prequels, do you remember going to see the prequels in the theaters?
Yes, at the 1999. And again, I went to Burbank, AMC Burbank and 14 Theater. Then, I was in the line.
And you were waiting online. So I also waited on a long line, got to see it, and disappointed. I hated the Phantom Menace with a passion. I hated it.
Which part you didn't like it?
The Phantom Menace.
Yeah. No,
I hated it.
Which whole movie?
Except Darth Maul. That was the only thing I liked.
Darth Maul was cool, yeah.
He was cool, but he was in the movie for a total of 11 minutes. The rest of it was this young asshole running around going, Yahoo! And yes, I know it's for children, but it didn't have to be bad. It could have been good.
I didn't like that the kid played Anakin.
Right, and I don't want to disparage the kid because apparently the kid is all fucked up because everybody hates him and he hates his life and shit. So I don't want to do that, but it's Lucas's fault. Lucas could have made a good movie very easily, and he didn't. Liz Shack showed me that there was audition tapes of the other kids who were supposed to make it besides that Jake Lloyd kid, and the other kid was great on screen. You can find it on YouTube. The one who was the runner-up, great actor, and they fucking didn't take him. Why? Because Lucas was probably sick with power, going, I'm going to ruin your Star Wars.
Well, besides that, I mean, I thought Jake Lloyd, he was too young to be that age in then part 1. Then when we see part 2, suddenly he's grown up and then fall in love with the Padme. Like, oh, come on. He was a kid a couple of years ago.
They couldn't just make it that he was like 18.
Right.
And fucking he just didn't know anything. He's like a country bumpkin. It's the same as Luke, right?
Right.
A country bumpkin, essentially, in the Star Wars universe. A slave in this junk shop who didn't know how to deal with people and was just sort of stupid. And just make him a teen. Right. So that at least you could get
so that part, I thought Jake Lloyd was too young to play Anakin. That was
it was too young. It was like a fucking all that shit with the That's all I remember. The first half of the Phantom Menace is just everybody going, oh. Jake Lloyd's doing that. Fucking Jar Jar Binks is doing that. Even Qui-Gon Jinn a couple times going.
Jar Jar Binks, another annoying character. Huh?
Horrible. Horrible. And nothing against the guy who played it. He did what they asked him to. He did he bang up job with what they asked him to do. But what they asked him to do fucking sucked. Ganga Gungans, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I hate younglings.
And the word younglings is just like, ugh.
What's the youngling? I don't even.
Yeah, that's the Jedi. They call them younglings. The little kids.
The tribe? Okay.
No, the little kids who are supposed to be Jedis.
Just call them kids.
Yeah. Or young Jedi.
Oh, those young Jedi in the temple?
Yeah. Younglings.
Ugh.
Just call them students.
Yeah.
You got Padawans. Anyway, so Ewan McGregor's good because he's great casting.
Right, that was good.
I like Liam Neeson, but they gave him nothing to do.
Right.
And then just explaining the Force was the dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
Why would you explain the thing that is it's a mystery. The whole idea of the Force is that it's a mystery and only certain people could wield it, and and then you say it's these little things that live inside you that talk to you and tell you how to do what? What the fuck are you talking about? Lucas must have smoked some good weed that day, or bad weed. I don't know, because he said it's the little microscopic things that live inside of your body. That's freaky.
Yeah, I mean the part one wasn't that good.
No,
only good part is
Darth Maul doing the double lightsaber. That was cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
So yeah, Phantom Menace, huge disappointment.
Right.
Want to hear a quick story? So when I regret this to today.
Right.
When I went to see the Phantom Menace, I got a shirt made up that said Yoda has a huge penis, and I wore it. And because I was young, I was like fucking 20 or 19. I thought it was funny. But when I got into the theater, this dad with his two young kids, he looked at me and he shook his head. He was like, no. And I said, oh man, this was a bad idea. And the worst part is I wanted it to be a green shirt.
Right.
And the place that I went that could make shirts didn't have any green. So it was a blue shirt. So it didn't make any sense. So I fucking wore this stupid shirt that says Yoda has a huge penis. And it was a bomb.
Oh,
the fucking dads. It was all kids.
Do you still have that shirt?
No, it's gone. Okay. I threw it out. I was so ashamed of myself. So I never made a penis joke ever again in my entire life.
See.
So there was that. Then Attack of the Clones.
Right.
Did you go and wait online for that one?
Not that one. That time was... but I think I went to AMC Burbank again.
Okay.
That was only 2 years, 3 years? 2002?
I think it's 2 years after.
Yeah.
Every 2 years another one came out.
Right. Huh.
Yeah. I went and went at 10 in the morning with my friend. We didn't wait on any line. We got right in just because we were like, let's not go opening night. Probably had to work or something. Me and Alex Johnson went at 10 in the morning. And we were sort of underwhelmed. It was okay, but it wasn't good. It was just like, what the fuck?
Well, the part two, I like that Boba Fett and the Jango Fett, those father.
Sure, they showed that, but the kid who played, again, the kid actor was, no offense to the child, he's grown now, but it wasn't so good as Boba Fett. No. And why do you need to see the origin of Boba Fett? Just show Jango Fett. And he has like a little vial that's Boba Fett, and then he grows up.
But the kid becoming the Boba Fett, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so fucking stupid.
But then when those clone, the moment you say, "Oh my God, this is becoming true," so similar.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers, right? Then you kind of suspicious, like, okay, are they becoming, kind of. Becoming troopers later.
Yeah.
But when Order 66 or whatever executive order happens, and then all those...
That's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those clones go nuts.
Becoming,
Which is a great plot. I love that plot point that they changed the clones to go against the Jedi. That's awesome. But why couldn't the whole movie or the whole trilogy be about the Clone Wars? Why did it have to show fucking Darth Vader as a child? Who gives a fuck? You don't want to see him as a child. You want to see him as a Jedi Knight.
Right.
And then you want to see him as Darth Vader. You don't want to see 1 second of Darth Vader standing up and going, no. That's all he does at the end of part 3 is he screams, no.
Oh, and then again, I talked about this before, but becoming a dark side from good side, I thought Anakin should rape the girl.
What the fuck? You wanted rape in your Star Wars?
Yeah, because he's from desert. He was an orphan, right? So he can love princess, right? So, but he loves her. He wants to go sleep with her, but he can't because she's a princess. So he rape her. So he becoming a bad person. Then he becoming the dark side.
Oh my God! Let's check. You gotta.
Because the becoming going to dark side, there's no just big bad enough reason. Because those committee says, oh no, he's too young to do this, to do that.
Right, to be a master or whatever.
Oh yeah, then those committee doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
That's not.
I didn't think it was enough either, but I did think the idea that he thought that he was responsible for killing Padme and that he wanted to learn how to resurrect her from the dead. I thought there was something there. I just didn't think that Lucas fully got.
But the killing Padme again, that part. Oh, you don't trust me, you don't trust, just a trust, or I don't trust you, or trust you. Not good enough reason.
It's thin. It's thin.
Yeah, it's a heavy reason.
But rape is pretty fucking fucked up. What is this? I spit on your Star Wars? What are you doing?
Well, that's why he goes to dark side. Again, I still don't see he became, the bad person. And I didn't see bad enough reason to become good side to bad side.
Liz, what do you got?
Well, on this topic, I think the worst part of that movie is when Padme just had the babies and Obi-Wan's like, she's dying, and the droid in the most nonchalant, I don't give a shit way says, she lost the will to live. That's the
horrible.
answer of why she's fucking dying.
Yeah, so she lost the will to live even though she just had twins who she should be living for. It's so stupid.
In a way, I agree with Yuki because it's like, that's not a good enough
Right,
answer.
it's not good enough, yeah.
Yeah,
And it was also whoever did the voice of the droid should fucking die.
Oh, shit. Jesus, we got rape, we got death.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But that's what dark side makes bad or dark.
Yeah, but look, ultimately, let's be honest. These are 4 kids, right? So if you're putting rape up in this motherfucker, that's some bold shit.
But I'm not talking about the showing rape scene. You just,
fade to black.
You fade to black, and then why is she becoming pregnant? Because
my God!
No, it's true because also in that movie they say that Anakin just killed little kids. That's pretty
right.
intense,
Remember that
but
he
they
killed
don't show us.
Yeah, they don't show, and he just killed the young Jedi at the temple.
Right, which is an interesting part because it does show how fucked up he is. But
the
younglings. But I don't know if rape is the answer.
It should have just been more of like a concrete, like she just lost the will to live.
I agree with that. That's terrible. But there's he had seeds of things that could have worked. He just didn't sow the seeds correctly. He made a fucking thing that just wasn't a fully formed plant. So I think that ultimately part 3 is pretty good. If you ignore the certain flaws, it's still a pretty good movie and a pretty good story and has some of the best Star Wars shit in there. But
part 3,
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. That one I like and I think is pretty good, and I would watch that one again. And I just think that there's failings because you're right, it's not strong enough, but I also don't think that rape is the way. Yuki, you want to fucking put Rape Fiesta in your Star Wars? What is it? The Cannibal Holocaust? The Accused?
No, it's Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
Yeah.
They've been doing rape since the mythology.
Greek tragedy, mother killed their own kids, or,
The Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
She wasn't raped?
By God.
Oh my God.
I'm Jewish,
all right.
so I don't know.
Okay, well, rape is just one thing, but I'm just saying there wasn't enough good reason or heavy reason for Anakin to become dark side.
Right, I agree. So what I believe the prequels, in my opinion, are a first draft, and it was a good first draft where if he had taken those scripts and consulted with other people and other writers and really workshopped them and waited a few years because the technology would have gotten better. And if he had made those in the early 21st century instead of doing it in the late 20th century, he would have had stronger scripts, stronger technology, and he would have ultimately made better movies. That's my opinion about the prequels.
Mm.
So I think we're all in agreement that they weren't as good as they possibly could have been. But there are great concepts in there. Order 66,
right,
what a great fucking idea. And that's why I really like the Clone Wars TV show. Because even though it's animated and sort of for kids, they delve into a lot of the shit that they couldn't get into in the movies and explain some of the stuff, get into darker themes and stuff. Even though it's, like I said, it's for kids, it still gets into some dark, gritty places and shows you a lot of the shit that they just had to skim over because for some reason he skipped over the whole Clone Wars. The fucking part 2 ends at the beginning and part 3 starts at the end of the Clone Wars. So in the middle of there's no fucking visualization of any of it. Stupid. But that's what the TV show is for.
Yeah, because, I don't see the TV show, so I don't...
Right, so you didn't see the kids' TV show Clone Wars and you didn't see Rebels.
No. I just watched about 30 minutes in Clone Wars because I just try to understand. And
well, that was what you watched was it was an animated movie that was released in theaters.
Really?
Yeah, it was the Clone Wars with the following the little Jabba the Hutt and whatever.
Right.
But that got really bad reviews because it was bad. That was really, really bad. The actual show where it starts is good. And it gets into some cool shit. And then the big grand finale of the Clone Wars is some of the best Star Wars stories ever. It was the Siege of Mandalore, where Ahsoka goes to fight Darth Maul with there's the Mandalorians, and the whole thing is happening. That happens concurrently with the end of
the Clone War.
It's the end of the Clone Wars, and it happens concurrently with Revenge of the Sith. So while Revenge of the Sith is happening, they're showing you what's happening on Mandalore.
Okay.
And it's sort of like, actually, at the beginning of it, Ahsoka says goodbye to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and basically he's going off to become Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan is, they're going on their adventure.
But see, that doesn't make any sense because Anakin was already Darth Vader way before than this.
No. It's like right at the beginning. Remember the part where they save the Emperor or whatever from the ship at the beginning of the movie from General Grievous? It's right after that battle. They're like, all right, bye, see you later, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes off on her adventure and they go off to live the rest of the...
But then I hate the condition because why do I have to see something else to understand?
So in this case, you don't and you do. For me, the Clone Wars TV show makes the movies better because the Clone Wars is better than the movies.
Okay, I understand it, but unfortunately, I wasn't following the TV show.
Right, you shouldn't have to. So the failings there is that all of a sudden, he shouldn't have made the Clone Wars the show. It should have been a whole other show in a whole other part of the universe with a whole other set of rules or whatever the fuck he's going to do, and shown the Clone Wars in the fucking movies. That's what we're going to the movies for, is to see the fucking Clone Wars that they mentioned in the first movie when Obi-Wan Kenobi says to Luke, I fought with your father in the Clone Wars.
Right.
That's all we wanted to see, and we didn't get to fucking see any of it except for the end of the beginning. Stupid. What do you think of the sequel trilogy? Because we sort of, the bookends here were the movies.
Okay, first of all, the whole tone got the change. It's not the George Lucas tone anymore. It's like a totally nothing to do with George Lucas world. It's like a Disney World, and then especially J.J. Abrams and the first one, episode 7.
Yeah.
It's wrong because J.J. Abrams, he made the reboot of Star Trek.
Right.
And in Star Trek, same guy cannot make Star Wars.
Well, you want to know what I thought? When I saw Star Trek, the reboot, I said, this motherfucker just wants to make Star Wars. So what he made was Star Trek Wars, which was his reboot with Chris Pine.
Right.
And then they gave him Star Wars, and he fucked it up.
Well, so it's kind of a combination. Like it can't be the same director. If you make Star Trek, don't make Star Wars.
That should be a rule.
Well, I mean, okay, every director has a style.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Star Trek is the Star Trek world. And then if you make Star Trek, don't come mess with Star Wars.
Right.
It's a different world.
Right.
I'm not saying he can or he cannot. It's just wrong person to direct this movie.
Right.
So I will blame producer to hire wrong director to
Kathleen Kennedy, the villain.
Yes.
The villain of the whole
thing. Yeah,
she's the villain. So I agree, man. The biggest sins of Force Awakens and then what left the repercussions for the rest of the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, is that Force Awakens is a carbon copy of the original Star Wars.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Repeat.
Nothing different. It's all the fucking same beats.
Right.
But all they needed to do to make it a slightly better, you didn't need to fucking sidetrack Luke Skywalker the whole fucking time. That's so stupid. Nobody gives a fuck about the new characters. They want to see the old characters.
Right.
And they wanted to see Luke, Leia, Han, Lando, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewie all together again, having one last fucking adventure.
You know, at the movie theater, the best scene I still remember when Han Solo and the Chewie came on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Chewie, we're home. That's the best scene in the entire movie.
And that could have been a whole theme for the whole movie where it's like, we're home, we're revisiting our old friends, we're back, one last adventure, and then somebody dies, and then the rest of the trilogy is dark because they say, man, nobody's safe. Fucking Han Solo's dead. Right? And they tried to do that. But Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, said, who cares that Rey and Finn witnessed the death of Han Solo? They didn't know who the fuck he was 3 days ago. But if Leia and Chewie, who he did witness it, but if Chewie, Leia, and Luke witnessed the death of Han Solo, that is, and Lando, that's an impactful moment. But they ruined it because these fucking characters nobody gave a fuck about yet. Who cares?
And then Luke didn't show up until the last 30 seconds?
Yeah. The last 30 seconds, and then, the next movie, okay, you're going to get Luke Skywalker in the next movie. And then he just throws away his lightsaber.
I heard he got the millions for that.
Oh, I'm sure he got a lot of money for it. But he didn't like it. He was anti the way that they wrote Luke Skywalker.
I don't blame him because I didn't like it.
And that's Rian Johnson, right?
Right.
So the problem with the sequel trilogies, much like I think that the prequels were a first draft that could have been improved, the sequel trilogies had no plan whatsoever. So they had J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan do whatever the fuck they wanted. Then they had Rian Johnson or Ryan Gosling do whatever the fuck he wanted. And then the third one is J.J. Abrams comes back to try and fix it, and he ruins it even further.
Right.
So what the fuck is that? How can you make a trilogy of movies with no plan?
Lots of things don't make any sense. Like, I still don't know who the Rey is. Right? And then remember the end of the first one? Those kids came out.
No, that's the end of the second one. That's the end of part 8, Last Jedi.
Right. The kids came out.
Yeah, the kid comes out with this broom and it looks like a lightsaber. Right? Then they don't
what about them? What is this kid?
Who is that kid? He's just some kid, right?
I was expecting, this becoming another Jedi or whatever.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And the poor fucking guy who plays Finn, I forgot his actual name. he was set up to be a Jedi, and then in the second one, part 8, The Last Jedi, they just make him go on a side adventure to a casino.
And then the Benicio del Toro.
And Benicio del Toro.
What was his character?
Just a code cracker.
Yeah, so many things doesn't make any sense. So
it was so, and that's the thing is like, at least with the prequels there was a cohesive story that could have been improved. Right. With the sequels, there's not really anything that you can fix. It just needed to be ripped apart and rebuilt again to be one cohesive story. And then if you want to give the way that you did the original Star Wars trilogy 3 directors,
right? But
that's because Lucas had the vision,
right,
of all 3. Kathleen Kennedy said, we just need to make these movies because we got a schedule.
Right.
That's fucking bullshit.
I think she's the reason then the whole thing went.
She's part of the reason. There's absolutely part of the reason, because then you get the Solo movie, which is okay.
Oh, by the way, I didn't mind the Rogue One.
Rogue One was good.
Right? I mean, it makes sense, then leads
Rogue
to
One was good.
Episode 4, yeah.
But you want to know my one note.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a piece of shit, nobody gives a fuck what my note is. Okay, so you have this whole movie, and you got this guy who is supposedly not a Jedi, but he believes in the Jedi and he believes in the Force, and he keeps telling other people to believe in the Force. The guy with the stick, the blind guy, what's his name? He's the famous guy, the famous kung fu guy.
The blind guy? The Chinese actor, right?
Yeah, I'm fucking spacing on his name. Great actor, great role, but there's the part where he, at the end, is going, I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me, and they're all shooting at him or whatever.
Right.
And then he gets to the thing and he pushes it and dies. No. It should have been that I'm one with the Force is with me. He gets shot, right? And he falls to the ground and he's dying. And then he looks up at the fucking thing. He outstretches his hand and he uses the Force to make that thing move.
But what is he? He isn't a Jedi, though.
He's not a Jedi. He's like a believer in the Jedi, in the Force, and believer in the Jedis. He's like almost like a monk who follows it without being a Jedi.
I didn't buy his character. That's why when he's walking and then doesn't get hit, I thought that was bullshit.
It was bullshit. And if he got hit and used the Force,
right? But then if he used the Force, then I get angry. Like, why?
No, because he's somebody who would have been a Jedi if the Jedi were still around.
But he's not Jedi, though, right?
Because the Jedi were all killed. He could still he still has the powers of the Force, but he was too young in the Clone Wars to be a Jedi, and now that he's at the temple, that's my opinion.
You don't have Force answer you unless you're a Jedi, no?
No, other people have. The Sith are not Jedi. They're the dark side.
But Sith is part of the Jedi, no? Then becoming about the
they're
the
their own
dark
thing.
side.
They don't always have to be a Jedi. Like Palpatine was never a Jedi. He was only Sith.
But the Sith is the dark side of Force. So they have a power, I think.
There's this dark side of the Force, the light side of the Force, and then sometimes there's the gray side where they use both the dark and the light side. They're in the middle. So I think that anyone could use the Force, because he says, Obi-Wan, I think in the original, says anyone has the ability to use the Force. He says it to Luke. So I don't think it's just Jedi. I think it's a thing that anyone can do, because Leia's not a Jedi, but she's able to use the Force.
Well, but Anakin's, then Anakin was orphaned in desert, so
right, right. So it's not like you're born into the Jedi. No, the Jedi go out and find kids that are Force sensitive and train them, but they were already Force sensitive without being in the Jedi, so they could grow up and still use the Force without having to be the Jedi. They just needed the training.
Ahsoka is a Jedi, right?
She was a Jedi who got betrayed by the Jedi because they thought that she killed somebody. And then when she turned out to be innocent, she left the order because they didn't believe her.
See, I don't know that part.
It's a good story. See, that's what I mean. It's a really cool story. And she turns her back because she's like, you guys didn't believe me. Why am I going to fucking serve in this council when you fucked me over?
And then she didn't become bad side?
No, she just went on her own and sort of is her own thing now. She's like not a Jedi, not a Jedi, but she knows how to be a Jedi, but she's also not evil. She's good.
Oh.
Yeah. She's sort of in the gray area, you know?
I see.
Yeah. So that's... that was a roller coaster ride. But overall, the original's the best.
Right, original is the
Empire
best.
is the equal, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Return is semi-equal.
But the middle three is the best.
Yeah,
best
that's the real shit. And then Rogue One's pretty good. And then the rest have issues.
Garbage, yeah.
I won't say garbage, but I still watch it. You know what was the biggest pile of garbage? And we'll end here.
Solo.
No, not Solo.
What?
The fucking Obi-Wan show.
Oh.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't care.
Didn't care. It ruins fucking Obi-Wan's character because, okay, so first of all, in the original Star Wars, they mentioned, oh, I haven't seen you since you were the master and I was the student and all that shit. That's not true because in the show they fight and they're not master and student. They're just fucking two assholes fighting on a planet trying to save some fucking kids in a cave or something. Oh. So that happens. They're fighting each other, right? Blah, 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 blah. Great scene when Obi-Wan picks up the rocks and throws it at Darth Vader, smashes his mask so half of his face is covered.
I don't remember. Did he fight with Darth Vader?
Like 3 times in the show. Yeah. So at the end, he's got the red and the blue on his sets to represent the two sides of his personality, Darth Vader. And but Anakin, you could see his eye, and he says, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Great. Okay? But then Obi-Wan goes, I'm gonna go. And he just turns away and fucking leaves. He doesn't kill. So what that means is that Obi-Wan piece of shit Kenobi had the opportunity to end a reign of terror that Darth Vader was doing by chopping this motherfucker's head off and didn't because he's a pussy and he let him live to do another 10 years of horror in the galaxy. So that makes Obi-Wan Kenobi a fucking piece of shit.
Wait a minute. So this scene is after episode 3 though, right? Of course.
Yes, it's about 9 years or 10 years after episode 3, and that means there's another 9 or 10 years. So from episode 3 to Star Wars with Luke, that's 19 years that the Empire reigned over the galaxy. Oh. So at about 9 or 10 years, Obi-Wan Kenobi show took place, and that means Obi-Wan Kenobi could have ended Darth Vader's life and saved part of the galaxy, but he just did it because he was, I'm sad my friend is dead.
But there is nothing you can do though, because that's why we had the Rogue One and then episode 4, because he lived.
That's fine, but they could have at least had him like lunge for Darth Vader to chop his head off and then Darth Vader escapes or something. No, he just turns his back and says, all right, fuck, I'm sorry, my friends, you were my friend, goodbye. No.
Bullshit.
A true Jedi, would have chopped Darth Vader's head off and said, booyah, bitch. Now the galaxy's a little bit better off.
Wait a minute, but the Darth Vader, not Darth Vader, I mean, remember Anakin?
Yeah, he chopped off Dooku's head.
Dooku's head.
Yeah.
But that's why that was the moment
but he became He did it in anger. Jedis are allowed to kill in order to save people. And he would have saved billions of lives in the galaxy if he had fucking slaughtered Darth Vader. It was the fucking Jedi thing to do. But instead he started crying. That means Obi-Wan Kenobi sucks.
So he's the reason bad things happen.
He's responsible for 10 or 9 years of horror in the galaxy. That's not good. That sucks. That's not what Obi-Wan Kenobi is. He would have never done that. So fuck that shit. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next episode of Ahsoka because I kind of like that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I like it, so I'm enjoying it.
I still don't get it and why Anakin's showing up.
It's the world between worlds, and it's a whole thing. You got to just read up on it. There's a good thing called Wikipedia. If you don't want to watch the shows, it's like Wikipedia, but for Star Wars. Just look it up.
Oh.
Anyway, that's Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Fuck. My head hurts after that one.
But I heard the rumors like Disney is making another 3 Star Wars, right?
Yup, they're making 3 more.
Which episode? Episode what?
77.
10, 11, 12?
No, it's just all different time zones. I think we talked about this in the clip that we showed. You have the Dawn of the Jedi, then you have one that takes place right after The Mandalorian, and then you have one that takes place after the sequel trilogy. So it's 3 different time zones, timelines.
So it's separate 3 then?
Yeah, it's not even going to be 3 movies in a row. It's going to be 3 different stories, 3 different sets of characters that nobody gives a fuck about.
But I mean, I heard the Rey's in there. Like
she's going to be in the one that's the sequel to the sequel.
Oh, man.
Just bury it.
Jesus.
Anyway, that's Star Wars. We'll see you next time at the Yuki and John's podcast buffet and Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.
Thank you for being with us. May the force be with you.
Oh, you beat me to it, Yuki.
Yuki and John's Patreon buffet.